Okay, we're going to start with direct objects, exercise 3. So go through again. The first thing we need to do is find our prepositional phrases. For her house is a prepositional phrase. I don't see any infinitives in it, any infinitive phrases. Underline the subjects. So Shelley is a subject. Bought is an action verb. And she is a subject. And could bake is an action verb. And cook is an action verb. Okay, so after we found the subject, we need to underline the verbs. We've underlined the verbs. The next thing we need to do is determine if they're action or linking. So we have an action verb here, could bake and cook. Those are action verbs. So the next thing we need to do is just ask subject verb who, subject verb what. Shelley bought who, Shelley bought what. An oven answers the question what. So oven is a direct object. So that she could bake who and cook who, or bake and cook what. Bread and dinners is our direct objects, are our direct objects. Okay, number 2, we need to identify our infinitive phrases. To have a new oven is an infinitive phrase. We need to find our subject. She is our subject, underline that. Was is a linking verb. Okay, so we're going to say LV here, and that is all we need to do because we will not have a direct object in a sentence with the linking verb. Number 3, for a variety of breads is a prepositional phrases. And that is also, we can go ahead and mark them out if you want. Okay, underline the subject. She is the subject. And over here, she is the subject. Okay. Next thing we need to do is underline our verb. So found is the verb. And baked is a verb. Okay, the next thing is we identify whether it's an action verb or a linking verb. Found is an action verb. Baked is an action verb. So we keep going. As subject verb who, subject verb what. She found what? Recipes answers what. So recipes is our direct object. She baked what? Well, this one we have a compound direct object. She baked breads, muffins, cakes, and cookies. So these are our direct objects. All right, the next sentence, let's find prepositional phrases. Out of the oven is a prepositional phrase, and in boxes is a prepositional phrase. Okay, the next one is identify our subject. So cookies is our subject. It's what the sentence is talking about. And Shelley is our subject. Okay. The next thing we need to do is identify our verb. So cookies came. And put. So came is an action verb and put is an action verb. We don't have anything here because out of the oven is a prepositional phrase, and we will not find a direct object inside of a prepositional phrase. And in boxes, we'll put a line through that. So we asked Shelley put who, and Shelley put what, and them is the direct object. Number 5, we find our prepositional phrases. To clients and all over the United States is a prepositional phrase. And of her yummy cookies is a prepositional phrase. So we can mark through those. We will not find our direct object or our subject in those. Okay, the next thing we want to do is identify our subject. She is a subject. And who is a subject? Okay, the verb is shipped. And wanted is a verb. Okay, we need to identify what type of verb shipped is. That is an action verb. Wanted is also an action verb. So now we ask our question, she shipped what? Cookies is our direct object. Who wanted what? Some is the direct object. Okay, the next one, we need to find our prepositional phrases. To the United Kingdom and Germany is a prepositional phrase. And we can put a line through that. Okay, find our subject. She is a subject. Mailed is a verb. Okay, and mailed is an action verb. So she mailed what? Cookies is our direct object. Okay, let's start the next one. To transport is an infinitive phrase. I guess to venues belongs inside of that. To even more people is a prepositional phrase. Okay. So we have to transport her cookies to venues. That is an infinitive phrase with a prepositional phrase inside. And to even more people is a prepositional phrase. Okay. All right, next one is find our subject. So where's my vowel? Shelley is our subject. And she is our subject. Okay. The next thing is we need to do is find our verbs. So purchased is a verb. And sold is a verb. Okay, next thing we need to do is identify the type of verb. Purchased is an action verb and sold is an action verb. So we are looking for a direct object. So now we make our sentence. Shelley purchased what? Minivan answers that question. So minivan is our direct object. And down here, she sold what? Them is our direct object. Okay, number 8. In a strip mall is a prepositional phrase. All right, in is a preposition, but it doesn't have an object, so it tells where. So during their lunch hour is a prepositional phrase. Okay. Let's find our subjects. Shelley is our subject. And people is our subject. Okay, what did Shelley do? She opened. That is a verb. And people, what did people do? People could. That is part of the verb. Come is a verb. and buy is a verb. Okay. All right, so we need to identify the types of verbs that we have. So opened is an action verb, and could, come, and buy are action verbs. Could is the helping verb. I thought the cat was hungry, and here it comes back. Okay, so now since we have action verbs, we're going to move on and ask our question. Shelley opened what? Shelley opened a bakery. So bakery is our direct object. People could come and buy what? Cookies. So cookies is our direct object. All right, number 9. We don't have any prepositional phrases. Business is our subject. Shelley's cookie is modifying what type of business. Flourished is our action verb, but there's nothing else, so we don't need to identify anything there. And the last one, from her cookie business, is a prepositional phrase for over $2.5 million is a prepositional phrase. Okay. The next one is find our subject. So Shelley is our subject and she is our subject over here. We need to find our verb, retired. Shelley retired. So we underline that with 2 lines. And sold is a verb, so we underline that with 2 lines. And we need to identify types of verb. Retired is an action verb and sold is an action verb. Okay, so we have 2 action verbs. The next thing we need to do is identify our prepositional phrases. So Shelley retired from her cookie business is a prepositional phrase. So we will not find a direct object there. So we don't have a direct object in that part of the sentence. So she sold, all right, she sold what? She sold who? It is referring to the business. So that is our direct object. And that is all for that one. Okay, count up how many you have correct. There are 69 possible. And put the number you have correct and divide by 69, and that will give you your percentage.